You really living a life, it's like, it can't be frauded. Like, this is real stuff. Like, and that's why I think most of these rappers is not gonna survive with me around.
Rumors have been circulating since news broke that an NBA youngster and Casanova had met in jail. With both rappers imprisoned and their reputations already associated with significant legal disputes, it was unexpected that they would meet with behind bars. Casanova, on the other hand, was well known in the Brooklyn street scene prior to his RICO case for his aggressive energy and relationships with both rappers. Casanova, a young guy renowned for traveling alone and keeping his group close, has always had a reputation for being unpredictable. Possessing solid reputations, but in various circles, their time together raises some major issues about whether it's just business-related animosity or something else completely. Let's examine what we now know about this new partnership. The rapper is sharing a prison cell at the Nevada Southern Detention Facility with none other than an NBA young child, according to a bizarre Instagram story shared by Casanova. The two incarcerated individuals are radically different from one another, and if that wasn't enough, in December 2020, federal prosecutors brought serious charges against a rapper named Casanova and 17 other members of the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation gang. These charges claimed that they were causing chaos in New York City. The accusations included involvement in violent acts, fraud, and even the tragic death of a young boy in Poirier. On June 27, a federal judge ruled on the case, and the outcome was quite serious. Casanova was known for his tough talk in his music, often boasting about his criminal ties. He openly stated that many of the rappers in his circle wouldn't last long while he was around because he truly lived the life he rapped about. He seemed to imply that his authenticity in the streets set him apart. This attitude likely fueled the prosecutor's decision to seek a lengthy sentence for him, ranging from 15 to nearly 20 years. The charges against him weren't taken lightly, and the authorities weren't about to let him get away with it easily. When the case went to court, it was revealed that Casanova was found guilty under the RICO Act, a serious law often used against organized crime. He also faced additional charges for using illegal drugs, which added more weight to the accusations against him. His lawyers tried to argue that he had moved away from his gang lifestyle after signing with Roc Nation, the major record label that represented him. They suggested that Casanova's involvement in the gang was mainly to help boost his music career, even though he had started to distance himself from the criminal activities. They believed this could help reduce his sentence, but the prosecutors weren't convinced by the argument. In a surprising twist, the prosecution used Casanova's own music and lyrics to back up their case. They claimed that his songs weren't just a form of entertainment or storytelling, but rather evidence that he was actively involved in violent behavior and criminal activities. His lyrics painted a picture of a life of crime and aggression, making it harder for his defense to argue that he was simply pretending or exaggerating for the sake of his rap career. The contrast between Casanova's life and that of other individuals in the prison system is striking. He now shares a cell with another person in Nevada, but their situations couldn't be more different. While Casanova fights for his career, dealing with the consequences of his past actions, the other individual may not have the same hopes or opportunities. Casanova's story is one of fame and success intertwined with crime and legal troubles. The rapper is now faced with the challenge of proving that he can change, but the path forward is uncertain. In addition to the personal battle he faces, Casanova's case highlights broader issues within the music industry, particularly in the genre of rap. Many artists use their
I got a good support system, you know, and I'm blessed. I'm very good.
Who are some of those people? Any rappers that your fans are familiar with?
Personal experiences, including their struggles with the law, as a way to connect with their audience. For some, this is part of a strategy to remain authentic to their roots, but it can also have severe legal consequences. Casanova's case is an example of how the lines between an artist's image and their real-life actions can blur, making it harder for them to escape their past. His legal troubles also point to a larger problem with the glamorization of crime in music. Some argue that when rappers like Casanova openly talk about violence and illegal activity in their lyrics, they not only risk damaging their careers but also contribute to perpetuating harmful stereotypes and behaviors within their communities. This raises questions about the responsibility of artists to consider the impact their words may have, both on their listeners and on their own futures. Despite these challenges, Casanova's story is not unique. Many other rappers have found themselves facing legal battles that stem from their lyrics or past actions. While some manage to navigate these difficulties and continue their careers, others find themselves stuck in a cycle of crime and punishment. It remains to be seen what the future holds for Casanova, but his case serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of mixing a criminal past with a public persona. In the end, Casanova's case highlights the complexity of living a life that blurs the lines between art and reality. It's a reminder that while fame and success in the music industry can bring opportunities, they also come with risks, especially when the artist's personal history involves illegal activities. For Casanova, the question is whether he can overcome these challenges and build a future outside of his past life, or if he will continue to be defined by the choices he made before he found fame. His time in prison may ultimately be a turning point in his career and his life. The news of these two sharing a cell has left the rap scene reeling, with fans and artists speculating on everything from possible collaborations to the dynamics of their cohabitation. Some see it as a sobering reminder of the consequences that come with certain lifestyles. The other faces a future that could keep him behind bars for decades. Although Casanova's legal issues have placed his rap career on pause, others see it as a chance for both musicians to reflect and maybe find common ground. He has been incarcerated since 2019, and it's evident that he has changed since then. The Brooklyn rapper said on Twitter that he is really fighting for his life there and that he has now realized how flawed the system is. This was not a spontaneous outburst. Rather, it came from a guy who believed he knew the streets before realizing that the system operates according to a whole other set of laws while Casanova copes with his own brutal reality. Bobby Shmurda, who is knowledgeable about. After serving 6 years himself, Bobby has been using his platform to support rappers who have found themselves in similar circumstances. He shared a picture of the two recently paired inmates on his Instagram story with a caption, "Free the millimeter." Casanova noticed and took to Twitter to thank Bobby, saying that it was a small gesture. But when you're locked up like that, love means everything. He also acknowledged that being alone in prison has caused him to struggle with a mental battle that most people can't even comprehend. It's not something you hear every day, but he expressed his fear of loneliness's perverse comforting effects. It's been a terrible stretch, and Casanova is unsure whether it's a positive thing or an indication that jail is destroying him because he went from roving the streets to finding serenity in solitude. He said that at one time he didn't even want to continue because of the violence, gang friction, and the reality of what life inside truly feels like.
He lost his father to cancer while he was inside. He reached a breaking point.
Caswell is being honest with the judge just before sentencing, saying that he put on a strong front but that all he wanted to do was end it. He is a man who got caught up in a life he believed he needed and is now dealing with the consequences of it all. He tried to leave it all behind, but things didn't work out well for the rapper, who was slashed in the face and hands in June 2023 after declaring he was leaving the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation Bloods.
That decision almost cost him his life.
He got into a violent altercation with another prisoner, Ulysses Lugo, while incarcerated in Essex County Correctional Facility. Just weeks before he had written to the judge to renounce his gang affiliations and declare that he was done with that life, Lugo attacked him with a blade-like weapon, cutting him across the face. The rapper had promised to speak out publicly about leaving the gang in the hopes of receiving a lighter sentence, and his friends and family supported him. But inside the prison, that move painted a target on his back. Even though he may be 15 years deep in the system, he is still out. He is smiling in pictures, and if you look at this leaked picture, you can see a whole laptop sitting in the background. Anyone who has served time knows that this is not normal, so how is he managing to pull this off in one crazy screenshot? He was actually on Instagram Live from inside the prison, and it's not for nothing. He's dangerous enough that no one dares test him. But at the same time, he has the money, which comes with influence, and he has privileges that most prisoners don't. He is admired for his ability to watch out for others. He is known for helping prisoners focus, get on track, and even point them in the direction of greater prospects. Additionally, he has solid industry ties with outside rappers who support and even endorse him monetarily. I got a good support system, you know, and I'm blessed. So who are some of those people? Are any rappers that you know your fans are familiar with who's supporting you in there? It's a lot.
Several rappers that back me up.
If you know Casanova, you know that he's more than just a rapper, he's a genuine one, particularly when it comes to looking out for individuals as soon as possible. I don't want to overlook any names. Rocky, for instance, was only 16 years old when he arrived at Rikers Island. Although Rikers is a difficult place for anyone, it's particularly difficult for teenagers. As a true OG would want, Casanova took charge and made sure Rocky wasn't abandoned. I was the only person he befriended, and he had already been through Rikers a couple of times. It was actually his third stint there. Instead of ignoring Rocky, as most people would in that situation, he checked in on him and asked him what he was doing to make sure he had the details and, more importantly, to put him at ease. That's how my man helped me the entire time, giving me pointers, until he realized something about Cason. NOA. When you consider the situation with the young boy, you have to think that this is probably exactly what Casanova is doing for him while he is incarcerated as well. A recently leaked photo of the young boy attending a court hearing went viral, and it shows him looking noticeably worn down, a clear sign of the toll prison life has taken on him. His face indicates that things have been difficult, but despite this, he wasn't just about himself. Fans may be reassured that he isn't completely alone in there just by looking at his smile. Casanova has a reputation for protecting people, particularly in the prison system. He is currently going through a difficult time, but it wouldn't be shocking if Casanova is providing him with the same kind of support and guidance. The man knows how to navigate the streets, but he is also familiar with the system, whether it's assisting with connections or simply ensuring that someone who is straight has the blueprint for maintaining. Although there are few specifics about their everyday encounters, people's heads above water might encourage a mentor-mentee bond. Within those prison walls, Casanova, who has been in the business longer, has been naturally taking on the role of mentor, giving advice to the younger rapper. The two of them form a duo that instantly alters the atmosphere of the facility, and some prisoners may feel intimidated, not necessarily because the hip-hop prison is all about hierarchy, and in a place where survival depends on alliances and reputation, having Casanova and a young boy in the same space could make them feel threatened. Two are aggressive toward everyone, but their influence alone makes them untouchable, so that kind of power can make other people think twice. However, there are also those who might see an opportunity to gain favor. Now that they are both imprisoned together, the unofficial kings of their block may have recently found the greatest cellmate imaginable, and people are already speculating about what this might mean for their futures and careers now that they are together. Could the seasoned rapper be helping him focus on his music and steer him away from all the street drama with the kind of pull Casanova has behind those walls? A little youngster may be about to have a whole new first encounter with the police. The career of Colgin has been booming, but so have. After being caught on camera with guns while knowing full well that he was a convicted felon, the feds weren't playing around and charged him in several states. However, he struck a deal to resolve the matter, which led to nearly 2 years in prison, 5 years of probation, and a $200,000 fine. The young man also acknowledged that he had a Glock and a 9mm in a music video, and to make matters worse, when Utah agents raided his home, they discovered another semi-automatic pistol he had no option but to surrender the firearms and enter a guilty plea prior to the court imposing the punishment. However, let's face it, this isn't the first time he's put himself and those around him in danger. His arrest on February 24th led to charges of mistreatment, weapons violations, and kidnapping after he admitted to the court that he let the situation get the better of him. The judge made it clear that if the rap wanted to stay out of trouble after he got out, he was going to have to walk the straight and narrow. Claimed to have threatened his ex-girlfriend Jonya Jackson. The hotel incident is captured on camera, and it's crazy. The video shows a young boy mistreating Jackson outside their room. And the most bizarre part is that immediately after it was released, the two of them went live and dismissed it as if they were just playing. If you've been following Jackson's history, though, you shouldn't be surprised because this is the same guy who had 2 shooting charges against him before he was even 20 years old, and in May 2019, things got even worse. Someone rolled up on the boy and his crew outside the Trump International Beach Resort in Miami, spraying them with bullets from a Cadillac Escalade. His people didn't let that go and fired back, but in the confusion, an innocent bystander was hit and killed, and the young boy's girlfriend, Kane Marie Long, was also hurt.
A 5-year-old was caught in the crossfire.
Technically, his crew was shooting in self-defense, so no charges were filed. But consider this, violence is everywhere this guy goes.
Indicates that this wasn't only a bad circumstance.
He's been in and out of trouble before, spending time in juvie for robbery and being charged with mistreatment. Despite his wealth and success, it seems like he can't seem to break free from the same cycle, but it appears that his time with Casanova may have been the last straw that transformed him into a different person.
He's the same rapper who built his career on street life violence and,
in an interview, Survival said that he feels bad about the lyrics he uses in his songs, the same lyrics that have had fans coming back for years. He's now sitting there talking about regret and redemption, and is dead serious about it. I feel very wrong about a lot of things, man. How many lives I actually am responsible for when it comes to my music. How many kids and people have gotten a CAU or put this, __, in their ears and actually hurt someone.
Careless. And he is plagued by that thinking.
He also didn't mince words and acknowledged that he felt very wrong about many things. A man who was previously charged with attempted murder is now considering the consequences of his comments, and he's not just talking, he's really changing. Although he doesn't explicitly state that he's going to start rapping about peace and love, his album I Rest My Case included much less allusions to guns than his previous works, which is a significant change for someone whose whole persona was based on that energy. Exalting violence, the rapper is now studying Mormonism. When the missionaries knocked on his door, he didn't want to hear it, but something told him to listen. Now, he's reading the Book of Mormon, talking to the missionaries on a regular basis, and even planning to get baptized once he's out of jail. All because fans expected it, and that's not even the most outrageous part. The young boy's time on house arrest in Utah led him somewhere no one saw coming: the Church of Jesus Christ. And he is aware that some people won't like this new version of him. Fans expect him to be the same crazy kid they've known all their lives. Despite this, he is refusing to back down, saying that he won't be coerced into acting differently, that he won't be broken, and that he won't return to his former self. He is aware that this 23-month sentence could be just the beginning. If he doesn't change, he could receive a life sentence similar to Casanova, and fans are concerned about his future. Rappers releasing songs while incarcerated isn't an uncommon phenomenon. In fact, it's almost a part of hip-hop history. For many artists, jail time might be a career turning point, but for others, it can be their undoing. It all relies on timing, fan devotion, and how successfully they are able to maintain their presence while incarcerated. Some rappers use their imprisonment as fuel for their music and image, while others lose momentum and struggle to recover relevance after they are freed. Famous people in the game have maintained their jobs while incarcerated, demonstrating that incarceration does not equate to a decline in one's quality of life. Young Thug from behind prison, Tory Lanez, and even the little kid himself have made songs. Gucci M made the most of his incarceration by releasing several projects and maintaining his reputation throughout one of his most fruitful periods. While incarcerated on Rikers Island, Lil Wayne recorded verses over the phone. While Tupac was doing prison, his song Me Against the World peaked at the top of the charts.
Casanova and
However, Casanova has a huge fan base that supports him no matter what, and even while incarcerated, he continued to release music, and his numbers remain strong. If he maintains that momentum, prison time might hardly slow him down. The question is whether they will return stronger or lose their footing. Casanova's case is complicated. Federal charges mean a long sentence, and his career was already struggling before his arrest. He had street credibility, but without major hits, staying relevant for years behind bars will be difficult. Casanova's most recent Instagram post has fans wondering what's coming up. He shared a screenshot with smiley face emojis, which may not seem like much, but in this context, it could mean a lot more. A collaboration with YoungBoy is possible because he has connections in the industry, and YoungBoy is still one of the most active rappers when it comes to releasing music, even while he is incarcerated. If they are truly working on something together, they are on a time. Krell has a devoted fan base, an undeniable talent for making hits, and the ability to dominate the charts, but if he can't keep himself away from the same situations that got him locked up in the first place, it could all fall apart. His sentence isn't nearly as long as his, and there's even talk that he could be released early. His legal issues have followed him for years, and even though he's stated that he wants to change, breaking old habits isn't easy. YoungBoy, on the other hand, is all about emotional depth, melodic flows, and that unfiltered intensity that keeps his music unexpected. The track between the two could seem like Casanova delivers that raw high-energy delivery with that deep aggressive voice that makes everything he whops feel explosive. When you combine such styles, the result is a song that might be a powerful street anthem or something surprisingly contemplative. My ambition has always been to become a rapper. I never had a backup plan. This is what I was meant to do. And let's. Not to mention that Little Boy is one of the most successful rappers in the game. Even while incarcerated, he manages to release music. If he participates, this collaboration might be a significant milestone for both of them. Casanova demonstrates that he still has a following in the rap industry, and the young man once again demonstrates that he cannot be stopped no matter where he is. However, if the rapper is freed and violates probation, there may be harsh repercussions. Judges and prosecutors are generally less forgiving of repeat offenders, especially those with high-profile cases, so he wouldn't get the same opportunities he had previously. The real question is whether he can stay out of trouble. Given his history with the legal system, any infraction, whether minor like missing a check-in or more serious, could put him right back behind bars and possibly for a much longer sentence. Artists and civil rights organizations have been outspoken in their defense of the genre, arguing that it seems like a targeted assault. Rap is art, and using someone else's lyrics against them in court is equivalent to criminalizing their creation. What's crazy is that rap is picked out as evidence of criminal activity, but no other kind of music receives this level of attention. As this discussion rages on in certain places, this behavior raises fundamental issues about prejudice, justice, and why rap is the only genre where this type of thing occurs. In an effort to defend artists, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill in 2022 that restricted the use of rap lyrics as evidence in court, citing the racial bias and possible First Amendment concerns it raises. At the same time, a judge in Northern California overturned the convictions of 2 black men, concluding that the rap lyrics used against them probably contained racial bias that influenced the jury's verdict. Rap lyrics cannot be used as evidence in Louisiana, which followed suit in 2023 with its restored Creative Protection Statute. Despite all the opposition, Fontaine County's District Attorney, Fani Willis, steadfastly maintained her position that, although she supports the First Amendment, she also believes that rap lyrics can be used as actual evidence when they relate to criminal behavior. According to her, if the lyrics are connected to gang activity and criminal activity, they have a place in the courtroom. This is a significant change because the industry is no longer ignoring street-cracking rappers, who previously thrived by showing off their illicit connections, are now understanding that this route has a lot of baggage, as seen by the growing number of RICO cases from Pushy to Case and NOA. Since no one wants to be the next headline for a federal indictment, labels and artists are being forced to reconsider their strategy, as it is evident that the authorities are not playing around. Rap is entering a new age when it's safer to avoid the things that were formerly considered a hallmark of authenticity.
Labels are beginning to draw back.
The federal government is tired of seeing rappers make money off of illegal activity, and the industry is reacting by shifting toward a cleaner, more mainstream-friendly sound as a result of the crackdown on gang-affiliated rappers. Additionally, streaming platforms like YouTube and Instagram are tightening their policies on violent content because they don't want to deal with the headache of seeing artists lose everything right away. Rappers who can sell records without drawing federal attention have caused a discernible shift toward clean rap. Even artists who made their living off of raw street images are now incorporating Ice Spice. For instance, they used to rely more on street-heavy storytelling than on catchy, marketable songs. Despite originating from the rough-and-tumble UK drill scene, Central C has a stronger emphasis on sophisticated international appeal. Once renowned for his trap-heavy songs, Lil Yachty has evolved into a more experimental and popular artist. Amiable music, even drill artists are aware of the danger. Knowing that police use lyrics against rappers in court, Vivio Foreign has talked about stepping away from dissing and songs. Roddy Ricch, who gained notoriety on the street, has shifted toward catchy, radio-friendly songs to avoid controversy, and even Chief Keef, one of the most influential drill artists ever, is now more concerned with gaming, streaming, and staying out of trouble than creating the kind of music that once got him banned from performing in his own city. The takeaway is that street rap is no longer worth the risk, and musicians who maintain a clean image are the ones who get agreements. Festival slots and brand partnerships are changing the business, and those who adapt will survive while those who are stuck in the past are being locked up or fired. We appreciate you viewing, and if you like this video, click on any of the others to see more of our channel's material. Don't forget to press the bell symbol for more videos.